friends, welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and today's pick a card reading is going to be looking at why you met the person that you're thinking of. So I am going to make this more romantic based, but if you want to apply it to friends, you can absolutely do that as well. Just don't take the more romantic messages here. But we have 4 piles today. Pile 1 with the pink butterfly and the Light Seers Tarot. Pile 2 with the pinkish reddish butterfly and the Modern Witch Tarot. Pile 3 with the Everyday Witch Tarot and the yellow butterfly. Oh man, the yellow butterfly just don't even want to stay on here, does he? And pile 4 with the Ethereal Visions Tarot and the green butterfly. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile or butterfly you feel most drawn to. And then go ahead and scroll down to the description to get into your reading. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one pile. You know, they could be for 2 different people. They could be similar messages for the same person. I really wanted to kind of open things up here in case you guys had more than one person on your mind, which is why we have the 4th pile today. So yeah, don't be too stressed about it. If something doesn't resonate, don't force it to. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens here. And I did quickly want to mention as well, my personal readings are still open. So if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description. The link to my website is on there. It is asotarot.co. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hey there, pile 1. If you guys chose the pink butterfly and the Light Seers Tarot, this is your reading, and this is why you met your person. Yeah, that works. Okay, so as usual, I already have your oracle shuffled, but I'm going to shuffle your tarot on camera. We've got a lot today, so we've got tarot, oracle, and we're going to be doing channeled messages, charms, and I will be pulling songs at the end. I got this baby locked and loaded. Got a lot of weird stuff in there. So I'm really excited to see what pops out. But let's go ahead and start with your tarot. So, Spirit, why did pile 1 meet their person? Why did pile 1 meet their person? And what I mean by your person is literally whoever's on your mind. This could be someone you're currently dating. This could be an ex. This could be a friend. There are no right or wrong answers. Speaking of right or wrong, that is a song that is in there. Okay, well, do you want to be upright or reversed? Okay, I'm going to say upright. Okay, so we have strength starting off. Let's see. Spirit, why did pile 1 meet their person? Spirit, why did pile 1 meet their person? Okay, we have the Hierophant and the Chariot. Lots of major energies here. And I do want to say, I noticed somebody commented once, like, saying that I was, like, praising the piles with more majors. That's not what I'm doing, and that's not my intention at all. I'm just stressing that major cards are usually indicative of stronger energies that last a lot longer, while a lot of minor cards can talk about temporary situations or things of that nature. But minor cards are still strong, and there's no such thing as good or bad cards. Like, they're just cards. So don't get too freaked out by that. But starting off the bat, we do have a lot of major energies here, and we have the King of Cups, and on the back of the deck we have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, so let's go into your oracles now. So we have fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, and that the back of the deck energy for that was perseverance. I know I can do whatever I set my mind to. We also have Acacia. Your guidance is divinely guided. I feel like that's like when you have to reach a word limit on a like a paper or something, and so you're just repeating everything. But the back of the deck energy for here is take a break. Life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. We also have a time to give rather than to take, new moon in Virgo. And we also have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. We also have rest and rejuvenation coming out right underneath the King of Cups, which is interesting. And look at the back of the deck energy for this one. It is a man holding a coin. So quite interesting that we have the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles here. But then for our last two cards, we have the 9th house, Faith, and the Grand Cross, Provoker. And the back of the deck energy for this pile is the 12th house, Escape. I actually kind of want to put it down here, so I am going to put that one down here. But wow, okay, so this is definitely a very significant connection for a lot of you. And Spirit is saying that this person was always written into your life path, whether there's someone in your past, whether you're someone you're with right now. Truthfully, it doesn't matter if you're talking to this person or not, because there's a lot here. I feel like this person was really meant to trigger you in a lot of ways and help you kind of go within a little bit and bring you closer to the divine. The fact that we have the Hierophant, the 9th house, Provoker, Rest and Rejuvenation, King of Cups, and Acacia, I feel like Spirit kind of used this person as a way to help you grow closer with your faith in the universe, whether you only believe in yourself or you belong to a certain religion or you're spiritual. It was kind of meant to help you become closer to yourself and also bring out more of your feminine qualities, whether you're male or female. Cups and Pentacles are very feminine, are considered like the feminine suits. And also we have Taurus, Cancer, Leo's the only fire sign we have. But it's kind of like this person and this connection taught you a lot about your emotional maturity and what things you should keep to yourself and what you should share. But also I feel like this connection was kind of like a respite. It was a way for you to kind of escape from the world. And I feel like this person taught you a lot about just slowing down. Like there's times to be driven and moving forward, but there's also times to sit back and just bask in spirit and bask in the love that you're feeling either from this person or from, you know, just the universe, like knowing that the universe brought this person here. But I feel like with this Grand Cross, Provoker, there's something very triggering about this person, and it really tested you in a lot of ways. I feel like this person tested you in a lot of ways. And I think one of the biggest ones is with escapism. You both could have used maladaptive behaviors like drugs or alcohol, or I'm not gonna list off a bunch of ones because I feel like that's kind of shitty, but I do feel like any maladaptive behaviors that you may have had, even just like procrastination and like sleeping more. Like, here's what's interesting. I'm almost getting this vibe like you're this really smart and capable person, but I feel like your own anxieties and lack of self-worth at the time before you met this person were really holding you back from following your dreams and getting the bag. Like, I feel like this person was brought into your life to help ground you in a lot of ways. If you'll notice, we have a lot of characters sitting cross-legged, and maybe this person taught you a lot about meditation, or maybe this person drove you so freaking insane that meditation, like this was the first time you considered meditation as a way to get closer to yourself. I feel like for the first time, it's like you couldn't get answers about this person or this situation on the outside. And so I feel like this was the first time you really had to look within. And it's kind of like spirit placed this person into your life to bring you closer to spirit, to be in more communication with spirit. But I also think that this connection really pushed you also to be focused on your monetary gain. I feel like there was kind of this twofold thing where you developed a lot of emotional maturity within this connection, but also practical knowledge that made you more driven to want to succeed. Whether this person already had money or was a self-made person or something like that, it kind of just seems like overall this person taught you a lot about practical matters like money, how to save money, maybe how to invest. Or this person was already financially secure and brought you a lot of security. I do feel like it's so weird because it's almost like this connection was very triggering and brought out a lot of fears in both of you. Because we have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius, and fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And it's like it took a lot of emotional strength for you to not allow your own insecurities to affect this connection, if that makes sense. I feel like maybe this connection in a lot of ways was a way to like redo things that maybe you weren't proud of about yourself and your own behaviors in past relationships. And it was kind of like a redo or a way to resolve things, or like come to terms with behaviors and prove to yourself that you've grown from your previous relationships before this person, if that makes sense. But it's possible too that maybe the connection itself was triggering, and a lot of these things you didn't learn until after the connection ended. And maybe bringing love into this situation was giving to yourself rather than taking. I feel like this person really just tested you in a lot of ways. And with take a break and rest and rejuvenation, I feel like this connection was maybe so intense that if it ended, if you're not with this person anymore, you had to take a really long break before you thought about getting yourself out there again. But I almost feel like for a lot of you, this person is responsible for a lot of your spiritual awakenings. And I feel like this person taught you how to persevere even when you're exhausted or you're afraid or you don't know if you're strong enough. I feel like if you're still with this person, I feel like this connection is just very, very solid. It's led by faith, it's led by purpose and mutual understanding of your goals and where you want to go. I feel like there was a balance between light and dark aspects here. And I feel like this person maybe made you feel more comfortable with the idea of expressing your emotions and working harder, which I know, I'm not saying that any of you aren't hard workers or anything like that. I'm just saying maybe this person helped you be more focused on your intentions moving forward. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And I feel like maybe for some of you, you had commitment issues before this person. But I feel like with the Hierophant here, it's almost like you had no problem committing to this person. And what I love is how similar this Fear card is to this Hierophant. And it's almost like the things that you most feared before this person, it's like when this connection came, the love was so much stronger, or is so much stronger, that it makes the fear not matter. I feel like there was a lot of joy within this connection, and also a lot of freedom to feel emotions. I feel like, you know, I feel like you guys learned how to respect boundaries within this connection. And I feel like this was your first connection where you actually, where it wasn't just like, oh, I'm interested in this person, we get along. It was deeper than that. It was this, oh, the universe brought us into each other's lives to help us move forward, to help us understand where we're meant to be on our paths. And it's like, whether you guys are still together or you're not together, I feel like no matter what, you both had a much clearer, have a much clearer understanding of where your path is moving forward. I feel like this person was a safe haven in a lot of ways, and maybe helped you take a break from a lot of your anxieties and your fears. And I feel like you were always really happy to give to this person, and your person was the same. There's a lot of fixed energy here, especially with Taurus and Leo. So it's quite possible that this relationship was actually pretty traditional. And I feel like this person really for you was maybe the first or one of the only people to ever truly understand you, but also be kind and understanding about your situations, which I think is so interesting, because there also is something very triggering and very provoking about this. And it's like, I almost wonder if maybe you look back on this connection and maybe it wasn't great at the time, but you look back now and you're like thankful for it, because it taught you so much and it really made you go within. Because I almost feel like there's two piles here. It's like for one group, the relationship itself was really stressful and triggering and not great, truthfully. But everything that it did triggered you to, one, reach a level of emotional maturity that not many people reach at. Like, I feel like it was like you were young and you learned a lot. Like, you reached a King of Cups level quite young because of this connection. But then there's this other half where it's like you both met each other, and it's kind of like you both realized that spirit brought you both together for a reason, and your paths were aligned, and you were meant to teach each other things and be a safe haven for one another, an escape. And I feel like you both were mirrors to each other and can help each other see where maybe there are things that you can improve, or where maybe there were blockages that you weren't aware of. I feel like if this was a loving connection that you had or are still in, you both were very giving to one another. You both love to help one another and be generous. But I feel like if this was the opposite and this was a pretty toxic relationship, then this connection really taught you how to give to yourself, because that's what I'm really getting. Overall, I feel like there's a divide between piles. Like, either this connection was what helped you align with your divine purpose, what helped you become stronger, and I feel like it's because you and this person were kind of in the same spot and you guys had similar goals, or you learned all of this on your own after a really intense connection with someone, where you finally realized that this wasn't a loving situation, or as loving as you felt like it could be. And I felt like maybe you deserved better, and learned that you had the strength to move on without this person. So yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a divide here, and I feel like you'll know which one you are. But Spirit's saying that no matter what, this person was meant to be in your life to teach you these things about, like, this is all very major energy here. I mean, like, I'm a little, like, shook, honestly. Like, I feel like you have a lot of clarity, but I think one of the biggest things that this connection helped you move past is any escapism that you might have had. And I feel like you weren't giving yourself time to truly rest. Like, you would use maybe work or substances as a form of escapism, and you weren't really addressing the problems within. And I feel like that with this Grand Cross provoker, whether this is a positive connection that you cherish or a connection that you are like, thank you, but I'm good, it was meant to provoke you to get closer to spirit, to draw you within and understand your emotions better, but also propel you forward to get the bag, truthfully, and be driven to go after your dreams and feel the love of the universe, and know that you're being divinely guided. Like, this isn't all just random, and it didn't just happen because it happened. You know, you've gained a lot of strength from this connection, no matter what type it is, and I feel like you've overcome a lot of fears through it. And so Spirit is saying that, you know, this person was always meant to be on your path, whether it was for a reason or for a season. This was a quite significant connection in terms of understanding who you are and developing your emotional maturity and your drive to gain physical security and stability. I feel like this connection could have been quite unbalanced if it was more on the toxic side, and I feel like you're kind of learning now how to have a more balanced life, how to balance between work and rest, and how to be kinder to yourself, and to be patient with yourself, and look at things from a more loving perspective. Because even if you were in the boat of this connection wasn't good and it was very toxic, I feel like it really taught you how to love yourself, and that was the most important thing. And I feel like for those of you where this relationship has been really good or was really good, it taught you that if you love someone else this much and they love you this much, then clearly you are worthy of more love. Clearly you should give yourself more love. And I feel like there was that balance there if it was a good, healthy connection. But okay, let's go ahead and get into channel messages and see what your person would say to you. I'm quite interested. So depending on what connection you had, it's possible that not all of these will resonate. But, you know, as I say, if it doesn't apply, just let it fly. So Spirit, what would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest? What would pile one's person say to pile one? Because I do feel like for some of you, you could be with this person currently. I will wait for a sign from you. What would pile one's person? Oh my goodness, that's too many. Spirit, what would pile one's? Oh my goodness, that is too many. Sorry, guys. What would pile one's person say to pile one if they could? What would pile one's person say to pile one if they could? We need to let each other go. Maybe honestly for some of you, maybe this person left really abruptly and you didn't quite understand why. And it's like the fact that you couldn't get answers from outside made you look within and kind of discover spirituality. I feel like for a lot of you, there was a big spiritual awakening here, either during this connection or after it ended. Spirit, what else would pile one's person say to pile one? Okay. We also have I love you. I wish I had treated you better. And on the back of the deck, we both know I am not the one for you. I feel like, I feel like for a lot of you, especially if this connection was toxic, you were like, okay, this isn't right. But I feel like there was love here, but, and especially for those of you in a good connection with this person, like there is a lot of love for here. I feel like there's different messages for the different piles in here, so it's quite interesting. Spirit, what else would... Okay, I'll take those. I bury myself in my work. I want to be on your level. I miss the good times we shared. Spirit, what else would pile? I am so afraid to be vulnerable. And on the back of the deck, I see you in my dreams, which I do feel like for a lot of you, that could definitely be possible. It's with like the faith and the escape. I felt like some of you might sleep as a form of escapism, which like no shame, because I do too. But yeah, it can definitely, like if you have really intense, really vivid dreams, I feel like maybe you even had triggering dreams about this person, like when you guys were together, like this person like cheating on you or something, and maybe they did if it was a more toxic connection, or maybe it was completely unfounded and it was just your brain. I think it's quite interesting. There's like a lot of different possibilities for this one, and I definitely want to know what's going on with this one. Which group are you in? So, Spirit, what is the significance of pile 1's connection? Okay. So, interesting. We have the octopus here, which I'm feeling like in this case is all about boundaries. I feel like especially if you were in a toxic connection, this person maybe didn't respect your boundaries and you gave to them a lot more than you gave to yourself. And that was something that this person was meant to teach you. We also have the number 5. So more Taurus energy, Hierophant energy. We also have Pisces energy with the moon. I feel like there were secrets within you that you learned by being triggered by this person. And we also have intuitive Pisces, and we have the Little Mermaid tail, if I can turn that guy around. Lots of Pisces energy. So yeah, I feel like this connection forced you to trust your intuition much more than outside judgment. And with the moon, I always think of fears, and I feel like this connection forced you to face a lot of those fears, but also discover the depths within that maybe you weren't aware of. We also have the flying pig. So I feel like this person made you believe in the impossible, like that you could achieve things that you never thought you could. And I feel like it gave you a lot of hope and drive for the future. This is also Aquarius energy as well. We have I carry your heart with me. And I feel like this is an acknowledgement that whether you're with this person or not, you appreciate them either for what they've taught you or for the fact that it might just be over and that you've learned a lot from it. But I feel like you definitely didn't forget any of the lessons. We have another Leo charm here, generous. I feel like this connection also taught you, in tandem with not my circus, not my monkeys, this connection taught you about when to be more giving and when to give to yourself. It's like you kind of learned how to not to overextend yourself, if you will. And I feel like this connection opened you up to a lot of new possibilities and blessings with this gumball machine. But I also feel like it made you a lot wiser, and it made you less afraid of overcoming obstacles with this elephant charm. And then we also have the little 6 here. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple more letters and numbers from my other bag. So pile 1 person, spirit. Okay, so we have H and Y. We have 2 Qs, surprisingly, and the number 3, so March. So yeah, Pisces energy is definitely strong here, and Q's as well. Like, yeah, I feel like this connection, if it ended abruptly, it left you with a lot of questions, and you learned that you had to seek that guidance within, or just seek out more help. Then we also have the letters H and Y. It's almost like they're saying hi, but in a weird way, or like I'm hearing like, hey you. But okay, let's get some songs to finish this off. So it could be related to this, not related to this. It could be the title that resonates. It could be something in the lyrics. It could be the artist. I'm really leaving the songs open to interpretation. So yeah, don't get too stressed if the songs don't resonate. If this reading is resonating, it's definitely still for you. So Spirit, what song do you have for pile 1? Okay. So we have Feeling Myself, Nicki Minaj featuring Beyonce. So yeah, I feel like this connection definitely did teach you to feel yourself. I kind of want to pull one more. So I am going to pull just one more. Oh my gosh, I feel like we had this song already. It's Ain't My Fault by Zara Larsson. So those are your songs, and I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading, pile 1. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Definitely let me know how it resonates down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more readings like this from me. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, definitely go onto my website, aoooo.co, to book that with me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards and charms. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching, and hopefully you'll be back to see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose this little pink and orange magenta-y butterfly and the Modern Witch Tarot, this is your reading, and this is why you met your person. Now, when I say your person, that can be an ex, the person you're currently with, a friend. There's really no right or wrong answers, just whoever you want to ask about. This reading is going to be pretty in-depth. I have your oracles already shuffled, but we're going to do channel messages, we're going to do charms, and then we are going to be doing songs from here on out at the end of every reading. I've got this bad boy locked and loaded with a lot of wild cards, so I'm going to be kind of interested to see what comes out. But I'm so glad that you guys wanted more of the songs, because I enjoy doing them as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Spirit, why did pile 2 meet their person? Why did pile 2 meet their person? Why did pile 2 meet their person? Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the 9 of Cups. Okay, wow, a lot to do with emotions. What else, Spirit? Heavy water signs here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Spirit, why did pile 2 meet their person? 4 of Pentacles, and on the back of the deck, we have the Sun. Okay, very interesting. So a little bit of Earth, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and a little bit of fire with Leo. So, okay. Now moving on to your oracles, we have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, and on the back of that deck, we have All Tied Up. We have Bring Love into the Situation, New Moon in Aquarius, and I am just going to say right off the bat, if you felt drawn to pile 1, this was the back of the deck energy for pile 1, and I'm already getting some similar but also different energies here. So if you were drawn to that, maybe you want to look at it. But we have Expect Powerful Change on the back of the deck. We also have Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path, and I just want to say that this is like my favorite oracle card in existence, and you guys know if you watch me regularly, I quote this a lot. And on the back of that deck, we have Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. We also have, I'm going to try to say that correctly, Mintakan. I butchered it, y'all. I'm sorry. But it says longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. And I love this. This is so beautiful already. And on the back of the deck, we have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. And then we have Second House, Owning. And on the back of this deck, which I'm actually going to take this card, is Saturn Return, Age. But I want to take all tied up as well. I think I'm just going to like, yeah, move that guy right there. Okay, so this connection, I feel like for a lot of you, is one that you are not involved in anymore. And I feel like when you were in this connection, it was not a very good time. Truthfully, I feel like your person was quite possessive of you, quite dominant and quite controlling. I feel like this person really made you feel like you didn't have control of your own life, with all tied up here. But I feel like you thought that your happiness was with this person. With Saturn return, I feel like you gave this person, one, probably way too many chances. And two, I feel like this person was quite possessive over you. With the second house here and the Four of Pentacles, I feel like this person felt like they owned you almost, and really made you feel like you didn't have control of your own destiny. And I feel like, honestly, the reason this person was brought into your life was to teach you how to live for yourself. And similarly to the first pile, I feel like there was a lot of spiritual awakening coming from this card. And what's interesting, I feel like your person could have been older than you, or there could have just been some kind of, I feel like there was a power struggle. Like, I almost feel like your person maybe came into your life when you were younger and more naive and they were older, or it's possible that they just had a very charismatic way about them that drew you in. But I feel like you were maybe very naive to the idea of love before you met this person. And after you met this person, I feel like you were very shocked that somebody wanted you so badly and was so, I feel like at first it was really sweet that they were like protective and worried about you, like, but I feel like it what started off as like, oh, let me know when you get home or something like that, it turned into things that were very just like not okay and invasive. I feel like this person maybe violated your privacy, or really made you feel like your happiness was tied with theirs. And I feel like you were so afraid of not being in this connection that you pushed away a lot of friends and a lot of like opportunities, because I feel like this person was honestly holding you back. I feel like they were holding you back from a lot. And here's what's so interesting. I feel like this connection is what brought you to realize that you're the only person that can create your own happiness, and that you need to be conservative with your time and energy. I feel like for a lot of you, you realized that you were light workers. And I feel like you stressed a lot about this connection because you thought that it was your happiness. And I think things got more toxic and more toxic and more toxic until finally you kind of realized, I'm not happy at all. This is not like, this is terrible. Like, I might be unhappy without you, but at this point, it's better than being with you. Because I feel like for some of you, you could have been stuck with this person for a long time. And maybe it was even like on and off. Like, you would get away from them and they would convince you that they'd changed and that things were going to be better and that, they were going to be different. And it's like they never did. And I feel like this connection taught you that you have a lot more power than you think you do. And what's interesting is that we have expect powerful change here with new moon and eclipse. And I actually want to show you what the quote is for Saturn return, because it's quite interesting as a mix with that card. Let's see, I believe it's 50. Yeah. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself, by Andy Warhol. So I feel like it's like you learned, like you thought that you were powerless to be happy, and you were just like, why do you act like this? Like, why can't I just be happy? And I feel like you learned that it was because, like, clearly this person is never going to change. And it's almost like you learn to love yourself more, and you were like, I deserve more than the shit that I'm being dealt with, like the shit cards I'm being dealt with right now. Like, I deserve more than this behavior. I deserve more than this treatment. I don't belong to anyone. I belong to myself. I feel like this was all about learning about yourself and your self-love, and also not being afraid to go on by yourself, even if you've invested a lot of time and energy. And one thing that I want to say, I feel like I don't even want to say people. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the sunken cost fallacy, where it's like you've already invested so much into something that you don't want to stop it because you've already invested a lot. And I feel like this was kind of the case for this connection, where you learned that investing in this connection, just because you had history and maybe this person was good to you originally, was very sweet to you with the 6 of Cups, I feel like they left you with a lot of disappointments and a lot of empty promises. I feel like you learned not to not trust talk, to trust action instead, because there is a lot about action here. And I feel like this person used their words to manipulate you into getting you to do what they wanted. And I feel like you had to learn that you could be happy and you could fulfill your own wishes all by your damn self. And I love the girl in this card, because like she's got her arms crossed, like don't you even get near me. Like, I don't need anyone but myself. I can fulfill my own wishes and I can find my own happiness. And thinking about Leo energy, I feel like you learned to see yourself as royalty, to treat yourself the way that you would want others to treat you, because I feel like this person treated you so badly for so longly under the guise of, quote, love, that you had to quite literally teach yourself what self-love is and what loving yourself actually looks like. And I feel like I honestly think that for some of you, you might be in this connection right now, and you might be asking yourself, if you're debating whether to stay in this connection, if you're not happy, and if this person isn't treating you right, then it's okay to let go. Your happiness likely lies elsewhere. And that doesn't mean that you won't come back together, but I feel like for a lot of you, this person was really possessive of you, and I feel like what you're meant to learn from this person is that you possess the power and the freedom of will to create your own happiness. I feel like no matter what the case, even if this person was good to you, if it isn't resonating and you're saying, no, my person wasn't toxic to me, I feel like at the very least, you were relying on them for your happiness. And I feel like you learned through this connection that you're never going to be happy if you're always relying on somebody else to make you happy. Because usually it won't. It will just lead to disappointment and crying over spilled milk. Truthfully, I feel like this connection maybe made you more pessimistic about life. I feel like this person was quite pessimistic, and they really made you think that certain things, like, I don't know, I feel like you trusted a lot of their beliefs because they could have been older than you. There could have been an age gap here. but even if it's not age, it's just like respect. Like out of respect, like you really listened to what they had to say, even if they were only like 2 years older than you. And I feel like you had to learn that, you know, people, it doesn't matter how old someone is, people can be wrong. And the scary truth is that there are a lot of people that never leave high school mentally. You know, I can even recall myself being in high school and dealing with drama that I would never be involved in, but being dragged into by mothers. Like, a lot of people don't learn. A lot of people don't learn, and that's the sad truth of it. And this is what I love about tarot, because it gives people the opportunity to take accountability for their own actions and improve. And because I feel like there are a lot of people that lack self-awareness, and I feel like your person was so like egotistical, and they're probably pretty intelligent. I'm kind of getting the vibe like they're pretty good at using their words. They could have a silver tongue. And so I feel like they believe in their own truth. But I think one of the beautiful results of this connection was that it brought you closer to your spirituality. It could have made you realize, like, oh, it could have awakened a lot of your psychic abilities. I feel like it opened you to the idea that you're a light worker. But especially with the sun here, the sun being the main idea and the most major energy, I feel like it took this person for you to see the light, to realize that you are accountable for your own actions, and that if you're not happy, you do have the power to change things. And you don't have to stay with someone just because you have history, or just because they say that you won't be happy without them. I feel like you proved them wrong. And I feel like you realized you found a lot of happiness. And I almost feel like you found camaraderie in other people that went through similar experiences and also are spiritual and also can relate. Because I just feel like for a lot of you, you stayed in this connection for far too long because of the feeling of familiarity and the fear of not having them to fall back on. But I feel like once you left, once you realized it, I feel like your life changed for the better and you were a lot happier. And I feel like you realized that you determine your own worth and nobody owns you but yourself. And I want you to know that nobody owns you but yourself. It's your body and you have full autonomy. And if anybody is disrespectful or thinks that they have the right to tell you what to do with your life, like, they are not you. And I don't care if you've been dating this person for 50 freaking years, like, which I would hope not, because that doesn't sound very fun. I feel like you truly learned that not everyone has your best intentions at heart. And I feel like this person did love you, but toxic behavior is never okay. And if this person was abusive, that's never okay. And you never have to forgive anyone for that. And don't feel like you have to forgive this person. I always want to put that as a disclaimer. When it comes to like abuse and stuff like that, you never have to forgive anyone for what they did to you. You know, that's your own process, and it's not healthy to hold on to it. It still is your job to process and heal and work through those issues. But I do just want to say that, you know, you never have to just forgive someone because they're your family or because they're your life partner or whatever. Clearly, letting go of this connection, you found a lot more happiness. And I feel like if you're still stuck in this and you're wondering how to change, like, this is your answer. Follow your own happiness and not what anyone else says, because I feel like you have a very kind and giving heart. There's a lot of green here, and I feel like this is an empath pile, like, for sure. And I definitely see the empath narcissist paradigm here, but I am not saying that your person is a narcissist. I'm not saying that at all. They could be if you're aware of that, but also remember that everybody has narcissism. It's a spectrum, and there's a huge difference between healthy narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, which does need to be diagnosed. And yeah, there's my psych spiel for the day. But I feel like you just have this positive and radiant aura, And I feel like this person was really attached to it. And this person really took a lot of that from you because you were so willing to give your cup of love, because you are so empathic and you are so willing to give. And I feel like this person just depleted you and depleted you and depleted you until you didn't even have the mental energy to question if things were worth it. Like, I feel like you were just trying to get through the day and you were trying to be optimistic. But I feel like walking away from this connection was the best thing that you've ever done for yourself, and is the first time that you really truly chose yourself first. And Spirit just wants to say how proud they are of you for doing that. And I feel like you've learned now how to conserve your energy more and give to yourself first and love yourself first. I feel like these powerful changes that you made really benefited you and brought you a lot more happiness. So I'm really happy for you guys if you're out of this situation. But if you are in this situation, because I do feel like for some of you, you might still be with this person and you might be wanting to leave, but you're not sure if it's worth it. You might feel like you don't have a choice, but you do. And if you feel worried for your safety or something like that, I mean, like, I don't feel like that's going to be the case for a lot of you, but I would also, you know, look up local resources and stuff like that, confide in friends. You know, with this Sisterhood of the Rose, I feel like after you got away from this person, for a lot of you, it brought you closer to your friends, because maybe this person like talked badly about your friends or said things like, oh, they don't really care about you, like they're just jealous of what we have or something like that. Like, I really feel like this person was so manipulative and really took advantage of the fact that you love them so deeply. And I feel like they had love for you too, but they're just selfish and they care more about themselves and they weren't invested like you were. And they felt like they could own you, and Spirit brought you two together so that you could learn how to take action for yourself and take accountability for your own happiness and not invest it in someone else, because there is a lot more to life than just a relationship. And also, you can find your happiness in so many places. And I feel like now you're finally realizing that you can spread that happiness and you can share that light with others. Being a light worker is such a special thing, because it's literally just the commitment to embody light. And with the back of the deck energy being the sun, I feel like you realized how much light there was in choosing yourself and choosing freedom. I feel like you learned that you weren't as trapped as you thought that you were, and that you had the power and the freedom to create your own happiness. And I feel like this connection was essential for teaching you about what your worth was. And I'm just really proud of you if you've already gotten out of this situation. I just want to say, like, I can tell that this wasn't easy for you, and it was probably one of the hardest decisions you've ever made, and yet probably one of the most worth it decisions that you've ever made. I just want to cry for you guys. Like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. And I just want you to know, if you're still in this situation and if anyone is telling you that that you won't be happy without them, or that you won't succeed without them, or that you'll never find someone like them, if they're possessive of you and they think that they own you, they suck. Kick them to the curb. Like, I'm sorry, but fuck that. Like, that is bullshit. Like, no. You are in charge of your own life, and your happiness is about your path, nobody else's. You live for you, pile 2, nobody else. Oh, okay, that got me heated. Okay, maybe if you have kids, live for them too, because they're important. And maybe this person used your family and used kids as a way to keep you whole. Like, even like they could have used your kids, or, you know, maybe separating from them could have been really financially difficult. But I feel like no matter what, even if it was worth it. It was worth it. And if you're trying to make this decision, this is a sign from the universe to be honest with yourself and be honest that you can find your own happiness. Speak your truth and live your truth, because there's a lot of happiness waiting for you if you haven't already gotten here. And I would really appreciate it too if you're in pile 2 and you got out of a situation like this, if you feel comfortable commenting about it, I feel like it would be great for the pile twos who maybe haven't released this connection yet to realize that they will be okay, and that there is a lot more beautiful things waiting for them on the other, I say on the other side, but it's not like they're dying. It's just like they're choosing themselves rather than others. Okay, let's get into channeled messages. And I honestly, I am not going to promise that I'm not going to be bitchy about these channeled messages whenever I see what's in here. So it'll be kind of interesting. So, Spirit, what would pile two's person say to pile two if they could be completely truthful? Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. What else would pile two's person say to pile two? It was my fault, but I blamed you. Yeah, no shit. Like, this is all your fault, bro. All your fault. And yeah, this person blamed you because they're so freaking pig-headed and so far up their own ass that they were like, oh, well, clearly they just didn't love me enough. Clearly, like, they just weren't in this connection like I was. Like, clearly they weren't fighting for me. Like, yeah, like, total pissy boy energy, I'm just saying. And they could be a boy or a girl, but that's pissy boy energy. I hope that you can forgive me one day. And I'm just being honest, you don't have to forgive this person. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I hide behind material things. Yeah, exactly. This is this person literally admitting that they used their financial situation with owning as a way to control you. And I couldn't let you get close to me I knew exactly what I was doing underneath that. Yeah, I feel like this person was never entirely authentic with you. I feel like they didn't see you as an equal partner. I feel like they saw you as property. And I almost feel like they like, and I can't say that for all of you, but I do feel like for some of you, this person utilized friendships of whatever gender you are, whether you guys are the opposite sex or the same sex. It's like whatever sex that you were, I feel like they had friends of the same gender in order, and like they would like open up to them, and I feel like they used them almost as a way to make you feel crazy and to make you feel like you're not doing enough. And I feel like I didn't mean to say I feel like this person might compare you to their friends and put a lot of insecurity in you. And I don't know, I just feel like for some of you, this person really like fucked up. Like, this person sucks. Like, I really like, there's always one pile I feel like at this point that gets me heated, and wow. Yeah, this one makes me heated. Very heated. I feel like if I could be face to face with this person, I would just I would say a lot of mean things to this person and just verbally rip them to shreds, because I'm angry that anyone would ever treat you like this, pile two. But I also, you know, they did have an essential purpose of helping you awaken to this, but I wish it didn't have to come through this. And I'm very sorry that you had to go through something like this. And I want you to know that you're not stupid for trusting what somebody said, and it's not your fault for believing what this person said. And especially if this was toxic or even abusive, it can be very hard to separate yourself from connections like that. They're not as black and white as people say. And I know it can be really difficult, especially when your family is saying like, oh, just leave them, or like, it doesn't matter. Like, no, it is so much more difficult than that. And I feel like a lot of people just truly don't understand what goes on in dynamics like this. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot here, and I feel for you, pile 2, and I really, the only person that you need to forgive truly is yourself. Is forgive yourself for staying in this connection, for choosing this connection so many times, for not listening to red flags. You know, one, I feel like this person was incredibly manipulative, but two, you know, you're doing the best. Every single day we're doing the best with what we have, with the knowledge that we've gained. And you couldn't have known that this was the truth until one, patterns repeated themselves enough for you to be aware that this was a problem. And also, a lot of times I almost feel like this person brought you to rock bottom. And sometimes we need rock bottom so that we've got nowhere to go but up, truthfully. And I feel like there were a lot of brighter days after this, and I feel like this taught you a lot about what you don't want in a person and what you won't tolerate. And I feel like this taught you how to stand your ground and speak your truth and know your worth, because you are so special, pile 2, and you are worthy of love and happiness and such beautiful, beautiful things. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Like, this person, I'm like, bye. Nope. Pile 2 deserves so much more than you. But we're also going to see what else they say. So, Spirit, what else will pile 2's person say? Oh my goodness. Okay. So we had these two pop out. No one understands me the way you do, and I am so afraid to be vulnerable. And yeah, I honestly feel like no one understands me the way you do is like probably one of their, like, I'm sorry, I almost feel like I felt my stomach turn when I looked at that card, and I almost feel like it's because that's like what this person said to you a lot to like make you convinced. I almost feel like, because the 6 of Cups can be a soulmate, is a soulmate card, and so I feel like this person said we're soulmates or something like that. And I also want to say that a label does not excuse behavior. Just because you believe someone is your soulmate or your twin flame, that does not mean that abuse is acceptable. Ask yourself, if they didn't have that label, would you tolerate the behavior? And if that answer is no, then you need to treat that person the same way, because it's not right to, I just think it's messed up to prioritize a label over disgusting and toxic or like abusive behavior. Like, that's just wrong. And don't let anyone manipulate you with a label in order to keep you around. That's just wrong. I feel so much joy when you're around. And I feel like this is, like, I feel like this is you now. Like, I feel like people feel so much joy, and I honestly feel like for a lot of you, it's almost like this person isolated you from your friends and your family, and I feel like your family is so grateful to have you back. And for some of you, this is going to resonate a lot more deeply than others. Like, for some of you, you're going to be like, this person wasn't that bad. Like, yeah, they might have been a little bit manipulative, but for some people here, I feel like this relationship was really, really bad. And I feel like you got really far deep into it, and it was really hard to get out. And I'm just so proud of you for doing it. And I want you to know that your family is so grateful, and your friends are so grateful to have you around, because they love you so much. And now I'm actually like, and with I will always love you, I don't care. I feel like that's garbage. And we have you're too good for me. Yep, that's absolutely true. Pile 2 is too good for you. I agree. Completely agree. Finally, we agree on something. I'm sorry, pile 2. If this isn't resonating, like, to do a different pile, but I feel like for a lot of you, I just want to, like, oh man, I would get in the ring for you guys. I'm just saying, I know I say sometimes that, like, I will fight your person, but, like, I don't even want to say what I would do because I feel like I would get in some sort of legal trouble, so I'm just not going to. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your charms, see what's going on there. So, Spirit, what was the significance of pile 2's connection? Okay, so yeah, that's all that wants to be there. So, we have Aquarius and Leo again. We have the words P and L. I'm hearing pumpkin spice latte, and which is kind of even more with the little like teacup, coffee cup. I feel like with divine timing, I feel like Spirit wants to say that if you, because we do have this, which always makes me think of divine timing. I feel like this person was meant to be in your life for a reason, but I feel like if you're beating yourself up over how long you stayed in this connection or how much time you invested in it, forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up about that, because honestly, like, first of all, progress isn't linear, and the healing process is quite like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But also, I feel like it's so unfair to yourself, because we all have different levels of tolerance, and also it is so easy to be vulnerable to someone else's manipulation. And I just want you to know that, like, don't beat yourself up over how long it might have taken you to realize these things, or how long you might have stayed in this connection. All that matters is that you got out and you got better. And I feel like if you're still in this, Spirit is saying that using history as a justification for being with a person is not right, because just because you fell in love with them once, and just because if you're constantly hoping for that person to be the person that they once were, and you're staying invested with them because of the history, like, they're not that person anymore. You have to judge them for who they are now. And I feel like with the Sun, Spirit is saying that, I'm sure there's been much brighter days ahead, and like, you've found a lot more happiness, because Spirit wanted you to find your happiness. Spirit wanted you overall to just be happy, and also have hope for your future, and come up with your own dreams. I feel like this person wanted you to be invested in their dreams and be like their sidekick, rather than have your own path and your own dreams. And sometimes it takes a long time to especially like when people take away. I just feel like this person's actions helped you believe that you weren't worthy of love. Like, I feel like your self-love is still a process that you're going on, and with bring love into the situation and more Aquarius energy, we also have friendly. I feel like you're still learning how to be kind to yourself, but that was the one thing that you had to learn, because I feel like you naturally, like, growing up, you could have just had a harder time, like, people weren't very nice to you or anything, but I feel like you just had very low self-esteem. And I feel like what you've been learning, like, I feel like you still haven't fully healed from this connection, and truthfully, this might be a hard reading to watch. And so if you've gotten through most of this, I'm very proud of you, and I really, like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And yeah, if no one has told you that, like, I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. It's not as easy as people think it is to let go of a toxic situation, and I'm proud of you for doing it. And just know that you are whole on your own. You don't need another person to make you whole. And that's the freaking tea on that, because your life is going to continue to get better. And I feel like Spirit is saying that part of your life is over. That part of your story has already been written, but you have this path forward, and you are going to do wonderful things, pile 2, and you don't need anybody else's opinions but yourself. As long as you are happy, then that is where you are meant to be. And I also, you know, with the octopus here again, I feel like this octopus is very indicative of you learning how to maintain boundaries and not let people take advantage of your kindness and take advantage of your willingness to help and your willingness to listen. I feel like you finally, with the L and the dragonflies, it's like you learn the truth. You learn the truth and you chose to choose yourself, and I'm so proud. Okay, so let's get a couple more letters and numbers. Spirit, pile 2. Okay, so we have another P, so we have 2 P's. Hearing mind your P's and Q's. We also have H. I heard Long Island, but I'm not getting an I, so it's kind of weird. Or like, I'm even thinking of like Texas Longhorn. But we have P's. I feel like you're learning to prioritize yourself. Like you're number one. But we also have a 0 and a 2. So 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so let's pull you 2 songs real quick. I pulled the last pile too, so I want to pull you guys 2 as well. So these could be related to the reading. They could be a separate message from your guides. It could have something to do with the song. It could have something to do with the artist. Take it how it resonates. You know the gist. All right, Spirit, what songs do you have for pile 2? Okay, we have 2 coming out here. So we have Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. This is actually like one of my favorite songs, and I feel like this is so ironic because this has been all about light. And we have Blase by Ty Dolla $ign featuring Future and Ray, however you say that. So, okay, I'm going to zoom in on the charms for you real quick. If you would like to pause the video to look at them closer, you may do that at this time. But I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading, pile 2. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole reading. I know it wasn't easy, but I feel like these were essential messages that you needed to hear. And like, I feel like this is very specific to certain connections. So like if you feel like my intensity was not worth how this person treated you, then you might want to look at pile 1, because I feel like also for you guys, you might want to look at pile 1, especially if you have already gone beyond this connection, because I was picking up on like some toxic and triggering energies in pile 1, but it was more so about your growth and your own development. So you might be interested in looking at that one. But yeah, I really hope this resonated. Definitely let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear. And definitely leave me a like and subscribe so I can keep doing more readings like this. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, my website is linked down below, asotarot.co. I would love to do a reading for you. Thank you guys so much for reading your cards and charms. You all are so wonderful. I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you are watching this, and hopefully I will see you guys again soon. Bye. Hello there, pile 3. If you guys chose the yellow butterfly in the Everyday Witch Tarot, this is your reading, and this is why you met your person. So I already have your oracle shuffled, but we're doing a lot today. We're doing channel messages, charms, and then I'm happy to say that music or songs at the end of every reading will be normal now. I got a lot of bad boys in here, lots of wild cards, so sometimes the message may not resonate to the reading, or like the song might not resonate to the reading, but at the very least, maybe you find some music that you like, or you learn there's some music that you don't like. Whatever it is, I'm happy that you guys like it, and I'm happy to make it a regular thing. So yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy you guys are here. I'm happy that my pile 3s are here. Hello, pile 3s. Let's get into it. So the last 2 have been quite interesting. I'm kind of hoping for something a little more uplifting, but we'll see what comes out. So Spirit, why did pile 3 meet their person? And I want to say your person could be someone you're currently with. Your person could be a friend, an ex-friend, an ex-partner, whoever it is. We are just asking why they are here. So obviously, if they're not a romantic interest, don't take the romantic messages to heart. But I definitely feel like so far this, like the readings have applied to things outside of romantic connections. So sorry, I'm like drinking LaCroix and I'm burping like a gross person. Gotta have my sparkling water, you know. Okay. So we have the Chariot, which is interesting. So that popped out in the first pile as well. Spirit, why did pile 3 meet their person? We've got Cancer energy in the Chariot as well. We also have the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Let's see, what else? What else did... Okay, I'm going to take these. The Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, and the back of the deck energy is the Knight of Cups. Okay, interesting. We have 2 knights, a queen and a king. Lots of fire energy here. Lots of fire and lots of water. Actually, only fire and water, which is always fun, right? So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, although a heavy emphasis on Cancer because Cancer is shown in the Chariot. Okay, let's get into the rest of your cards, which you guys did have a lot of cards, so I'm not shocked that you guys had a lot of oracles as well. So to start off with, we have the 11th house, friends, and on the back of the deck, we have Venus, love. We also have the energy is gaining momentum, and a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So there could be some Libra energy. There's definitely air energy with like the friends cards as well. We also have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And I kind of want, okay. Do that. You guys got a lot of cards, like I said. And on the back of the deck, we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. I don't know if I even said that right. We also have doubt. I release the need to know all of the answers. And on the back of that deck, we have loneliness. I know that I'm never alone. Also, look at how similar this boundaries card and this, like, I feel like this boundaries and this loneliness are quite similar. So I think that is interesting. And then we also have hostilities and the world, which the world also made me think of this loneliness card as well. And on the back of that deck, we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, which is the crown chakra. So, okay. I'm gonna put the world card here. So pile 3, sorry. Why did you guys meet this person? You could very well be with this person right now, because I'm getting a lot of conflicting energies here. I feel like for a lot of you, maybe this person started out as a friend and maybe you only saw them as a friend. Maybe you had been burned from past connections and you were very hostile to letting anyone in. But the biggest thing that I'm getting with this world card and loneliness and friends is I feel like you've always felt like an outsider looking in. I feel like you could have problems in general with like dissociating a little bit, and I don't want to get too far into that, but just like I feel like you as a person are very misunderstood, and I think people might take advantage of you and your kindness. I feel like you do have people-pleasing tendencies, and I feel like these tendencies make it harder for you to be fair to yourself, truthfully. I feel like this connection, and honestly, it could be multiple connections. Like, this could even be referencing like a good friend group, because I'm almost getting, for some of you, like, this isn't a romantic connection. This is this is like almost like soul tribe energy. Like, it's possible that different friends have created this, but I also do think that if you're currently in a relationship with someone, if this was a relationship, it is someone that you had a very beneficial relationship with, honestly, that has been quite, like, I almost feel like you haven't gotten the chance to actually be with like this person, like committed to this person. And I guess I don't want to get into that. Because I almost feel like for some of you, this is someone who you could still have hopes to be involved with, or there could be hot and cold energy. I'm just gonna go into it, because I feel like at this point I'm just gonna be running in circles. So whoever your person is, I feel like they made you question your path in life. It's almost like you had this idea of, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And then it's like you met this person and you were like, well, wait a minute. Maybe now I'm not so sure, because maybe I could see them being a part of my life. But I feel like it wasn't easy for you to get to that conclusion. If anything, I feel like maybe you kept this person at a distance for a long time. Like, with this hostilities card, it's like you didn't want to let this person in because you've been burned in the past, you've been hurt in the past, and you really just didn't want to push them away. Like, I mean, you didn't want to let them in, like you wanted to push them away. And I feel like there's also maybe a bit of a pessimistic streak within you, and I feel like with this person as well, like the biggest vibe that I'm getting with this Knight of Wands is I think that you are almost like talented at getting yourself into complicated situations, or like sticky situations. Oh my god, can you please just let me pick up this card? Thank you. Sorry, it's hard with these nails. I feel like you get I feel like you almost have this energy about you that's like you get drawn to like quite insane situations and insane people that really like test you, and I feel like not everyone has experiences like this. I feel like for some of you, like you're a dragon tamer. Like you tamed a dragon in some aspects, which is quite interesting here. It's like I feel like in a lot of ways you upgraded from a knight to a queen. But I feel like this connection, or it could honestly be connections, because I'm getting both. I feel like this person made you a lot less afraid to do things that objectively would seem quite scary, and people would tell you, oh, like don't go try and slay that dragon, like you're gonna get burned. And you're like, nah bitch, it's my dragon now, like look, I got it, like see, his name is Dongo the dragon and we go everywhere together. Like I don't know. I just feel like there's something about this connection that made you a lot less afraid of going after what it is that you truly want. Whether it's because this connection, because I feel like for a lot of you, if this was a romantic connection, I feel like it's a romantic connection that never quite got off the ground. It's like maybe you both had hostilities up, and maybe you were both fearful. I feel like you listened to the opinions of friends more so than others. And yeah, I feel like it's almost like there are so many people that had opinions about what you were doing, and it's so funny and ironic. And I don't mean that your situation is funny. I just mean that like it's just ironic, because it's like I feel like you were caring about too many people's opinions. I feel, and here's what I feel like too. I feel like whoever this person was, I feel like maybe you doubted them. You doubted that they really had feelings for you. And it's possible that maybe they've, like, I almost feel like for some of you, this is a connection that you never, that maybe you still have hopes will come back in the future. And I feel like with the energies gaining momentum, it's possible. Because I feel like this person was really meant to make you question yourself and question your own judgment and what makes you happy, and also who you're listening to. With this Knight of Cups, I feel like oh my gosh, there's so much going on here. It's kind of overwhelming, truthfully, pile 3. Like, no matter what, this person was a part of your divine plan. And I feel like they were meant to help you trust your intuition. That's really what this is. This connection was all about teaching you how to trust yourself and your judgment more than other people's opinions, because you are never alone and spirit has got your back. And I feel like with the 7th chakra showing up here, and also love and a new romantic cycle, like with Venus, love and like a new romantic cycle begins, and this like Knight of Cups, I feel like this person, like, you were meant to have incredibly strong feelings for them, so that you did let down your guard and release the need to know all the answers about this connection. But I feel like it's also your desire to know the answers that that's what helped brought you closer to spirit and helped bring about, I feel like this person is maybe responsible for some kind of transformation. Like, I almost feel like maybe you listen to your friends instead of giving this person a chance. And it's like maybe you're in your, it's like almost like you're learning now. I feel like what this connection was meant to teach you, whether it's coming back or not, I almost want to say for some of you that you could expect this person to come back with a new romantic cycle begins, and the energy is gaining momentum. And with love, because we have friends here and love, and it's like almost like love is the main idea here, especially with the Knight of Cups on the back of the deck. And I feel like you were allowing the opinions of others to hold too much weight. And I feel like that was partially because you have a desire to be understood by others. But with this Cancer energy here, no matter what sign you are, with all this water, you're incredibly intuitive and you're a lot more emotionally mature than you think. And I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you felt very isolated, especially growing up. And I feel like you acknowledge that this was to your advantage, because you basically like watched other people make mistakes that you didn't have to. It's like you kind of observed and studied people from your own island. It's like you were kind of safe. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pick it up at this point. These damn nails. I feel like it's almost like for some of you, you had to meet this person and things had to not work out here in order for you to realize, because I feel like at the time when you met this person, I feel like there was really strong feelings. For some of you, this could have been a friendship that grew into something bigger, but I feel like for others, I feel like this connection was intense right off the bat. And I feel like maybe one of you, I almost feel like there's a lot of mirroring here. If any pile, it's like the same situation on both ends, I feel like it's this one. I feel like one of you was in an Ace of Cups mode and the other was in a Knight of Wands mode. And it's like you both questioned your path after you met each other. It's like, oh, like you complicate things, like there's complications here. It's like your path wasn't as clear anymore. And I feel like that confusion, like the intense feelings that you felt for this person, made that confusion a lot stronger and more afraid, honestly. And maybe it made you both hostile to each other, because of like what your friends were saying. But maybe one of you was in more of a Knight of Wands energy, so like you weren't anticipating on this being a lasting connection, or they weren't anticipating on it being a lasting connection. But then it was like, I feel like there was just mutual deep feelings here that neither of you were prepared for, and I honestly don't even know if you guys talked about them with one another. I really don't. It's possible you just stayed friends, or like maybe one of you opened up to the other and the other one was like, I'm not in a place right now to be in a relationship. Like they were being hostile. I feel like Spirit's focusing more on this, on like the connection itself, because I feel like there were a lot of misunderstandings here, but it's almost like they were always meant to happen. Like with the 7th chakra here, I feel like Spirit is saying that there will be balance here. Like things will be balanced out. And with the 7th chakra, it's like this was always meant to happen, because I feel like maybe you trusted the opinions of your friends in this situation too heavily. And it's kind of ironic, because I almost feel like you trust yourself in a lot of other situations, but because it was like you were so invested in this connection and the outcome of this connection, I feel like you both listened to your friends and kept your walls up, rather than listening to your heart and what your heart was saying. It's like your friends were saying, no, like go this way. And you're like, but I really feel a lot strong. Like I feel really strong feelings. And I feel like losing this connection was like, at one point, your biggest fear in the world. And I feel like that was meant to happen so that you could realize that your fears are just that. And that even if your worst fears do come true, you will be okay after. And I feel like this motivated you to, one, keep your emotions more so to yourself, like not tell everyone what's going on, but also to take the lead in your own life and to have more confidence in your decisions and yourself. I really do feel like there was a lot of romantic potential and passion, and I feel like this person hasn't fully left your mind. And well, obviously if you're doing this reading, but I also think it's the same for them. Like I feel like you almost are both like in this King of Cups energy, like watching each other from afar, but it's like neither of you want to break that down. And it's almost like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of different situations here. But I feel like no matter what, this connection was meant to transform you and motivate you to go after the things that might have intimidated you. And to also have trust in the universe. I mean, with the 7th chakra here in doubt, I release the need to know all the answers. And I know that I am never alone. Like, Spirit has your back. And like, they wrote this into your plan for a reason. And I feel like maybe you're looking back in the past, like, did I miss my opportunity, my shot with this person? And I feel like the answer to that, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be different for all of you. And maybe you don't want to go back to this. Maybe you want to stay friends. But I feel like the purpose of this connection was to teach you how to listen to your own gut over what your friends are saying. Because like, I'm just going to be honest. From a logical standpoint, a lot of times our friends and family don't give us great advice. And it comes from a place of love and a place of protectiveness and a place of, like, they're wanting to help you and they want the best. But also, I feel like there's a lack of empathy when it comes to like getting relationship advice from your friends, because obviously they're your friends and they're biased and they want the literal best for you. And truthfully, probably nobody will ever be good enough. And I feel like you had to learn, this connection made you learn that there is no point in fearing what you can't have the answers to, but also learning how to trust yourself and your own judgment. And I feel like you're getting to that point. And with that Knight of Cups, I feel like you're moving forward in a place where it's less hostile and more like, okay, I'm gonna be aware if there's like a shark underneath here. Like, I'm gonna be objective, but it's not gonna stop me from going after what I want and having fun. Like, I feel like this is your time to just like, I feel like Spirit just wanted you to not be so invested in outcomes and what might happen and what your true path is anymore. In the reading before us, we got the happiness card, which literally says, let me grab it. It's right here. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And I feel like you guys had to learn that some things that will make you very, very happy, to go after those things, you might have to face your fears. And you have to understand too, like, I feel like maybe some of you push this connection away, or your person pushed this connection away because they were worried that they would get hurt. Truthfully, they were worried about getting hurt and they didn't want to get hurt. And I feel like they were hostile and defensive, and you were too. And it's like, I feel like you guys both drove each other insane. Like, because I almost feel like there wasn't even that much communication between the both of you. Like, it's like you guys hung out, and there could have been like a physical connection as well, especially with that Knight of Wands here. And I feel like this connection was all about releasing the need to know what the other was intending, and releasing the need to have your friends' input, and pushing people out of the situation when their business doesn't belong there. Because I almost feel like for some of you, this person could come back. I don't know though, don't quote me on that. I just almost feel like for some of you that this person might be coming back. But I feel like this person, if you guys do, it's gonna be a lot about letting go of those hostilities and that doubt, and just being open and seeking justice. Because I feel like there was an injustice here and the scales never got balanced. And I feel like it was because of your friends. And it's not, and I don't even feel like your friends are being malicious or anything. It's literally just your friends and their advice, like their perspective, their viewpoint. But I feel like you guys had much deeper emotions for each other than you realized. And because of that, it's almost like it made the outcome of this situation a whole lot scarier. And it's like you pushed each other out because the feelings were too intense. And I feel like you guys framed it as like, oh, this is just casual, like we're just hooking up, like we're just having fun. But I feel like there was really potential for something there. And maybe one of you wanted it and the other was afraid, or vice versa, or both. Maybe you both wanted it, but you both acted like you didn't because you didn't want to look stupid if you found out the other person didn't want that. And like with that doubt, I feel like facing your biggest fear, which I think was losing this connection, is what forced you to transform. And I feel like you're kind of coming into who you are now. And I feel like your path is vastly different than when you met this person. And there could have been people in the meantime that you have met and have been with. But I feel like at the end of the day, this was all about, like, the reason this person is still in the back of your mind is because I do feel like there has been, I feel like you both still have hope that there could be like a renewal and yeah, like a new romantic cycle. But I feel like you both knew that where you, like what places you were in life, it just wasn't, like clearly it wasn't the right time. Like clearly, it's almost like Spirit brought you both together to wake you both up to the truth of a lot of things about the world. One, that love conquers all. Love conquers all. And if you don't believe me, I don't need to convince you. But love is the most powerful feeling in the world. I mean, it's literally how our species continues to exist. Like, love is such a driving force. Love is like why people like go to war and shit, because over love, like because they love their country, or they love this, or they love they love their wife. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting so much from this. Like, I feel like there's so much left unsaid between the both of you. And it's almost like you two were never quite on the same page. And that's kind of what I think is interesting, because like here, the girl's looking that way. Here, the lady's looking down. Here, the knight's not even facing their direction. Here, the Queen of Wands is looking up. Here, the Queen of Cups is looking straight ahead, but not even looking in the eyeglass or the spyglass. And here, like, the Knight of Cups is looking up. Like, there's just so much going on here. It's quite interesting. And maybe I wonder, for some of you, maybe, I don't know, because this is more so about what this person was meant to teach you. So I don't want to get too invested in like what could happen with this connection, because I just feel like for a lot of you, you haven't gotten closure, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be closure, like it's ending, just answers. And I feel like this connection was meant to make you feel more comfortable with the idea that you don't have all the answers, and that your friends might not have all the answers, because I feel like the things that you felt were so intense and so deep and so otherworldly that it made you question your whole world and what you believe in. Like, it's possible that maybe you didn't believe in anything until this connection came along, and then you were like, maybe there is something a little more esoteric about the world than I think. And yeah, I feel like Spirit was trying to open you up to the energy of love and learning that you are never alone. Never ever alone. You're never alone. Wait, where's the loneliness card? That you're never alone. And no matter what, I feel like this connection was always meant to happen the way that it did, because I feel like it motivated you to go after your goals that much harder, to focus on your dreams that much more, and it gave you more drive to succeed. Because it's almost like, if I ever see this, like, I feel like in some ways it's almost like if I ever see this person again, like, I want to flex on how well I'm doing and like how I didn't need them, because I feel like there's hostilities on both ends here, and it's like unintentional. But I do feel like this person was brought into your life to make you question your path. I feel like your path drastically changed, and maybe this person didn't open your eyes to that, but maybe it's just realizing that you've already faced your biggest fear, which was losing this person, or this connection not working out, or feelings not being reciprocated, or supposedly not being reciprocated. It's like, okay, well, that happened and I survived. So how else am I limiting myself? How else am I stopping myself from going after what I want? And I feel like this is giving you just this opportunity to close out old cycles of fear and transform into who you're becoming. And you know, this was all part of your divine plan. Like, this person was meant to be in your life. They could be meant to come back into your life. I don't know. I just feel like with a new romantic cycle begins and the energy's gaining momentum, and Venus, love within the 7th chakra, like, there's a lot of intense energy here and a lot of emotion and passion. And I feel like this connection was meant to teach you that logic and practicality are not always the right answer. Sometimes it is what our emotions are telling us. Sometimes it is what our gut feeling is saying. Sometimes it is what our heart or what we feel passionate about, because there's a lot of passion here. And sometimes you just have to say, like, when people insert their opinions, you just say, you know, I respect your opinion, but I truthfully don't really give a shit, or like just act like you're taking their advice, but not really. But truthfully, at the end of the day, I feel like this is teaching you not to hold the opinions of others above your own intuition. And yeah, there's a lot here. So I hope that resonated, because overall I feel like this connection taught you to have more confidence and more faith in yourself, and also have a greater depth of emotional understanding, and be less afraid of going after what you want, and not worrying if things will succeed or if they'll fail, but just being willing to do it and having more confidence in yourself. Yeah, so there's a lot there. I feel like I could go on for ages about this one, but like I'm gonna stop because I feel like you guys are getting the idea. and I feel like more so, I feel like you're still learning things about this connection, and I feel like you will still continue to do that. And I feel like that's why Spirit's feeding me a lot of different information, because I feel like some of it is going to resonate harder than others, and I also feel like there's more maybe you have to learn from this person or from this connection. But okay, so let's just see what your person would say to you if they could be completely truthful. I'm pretty interested to look at these. So Spirit, what would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could? I am not available. So maybe that's them saying, you know, with that hostilities, like that was what they were saying. Maybe they questioned their path. Maybe they're currently not available right now. Maybe, you know, they're working on their transformation and they've got their boundaries up. And I also feel like this taught you how to handle others' boundaries, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot with boundaries here, and a lot with following your passions and your emotional satisfaction rather than what logically makes sense or what practically makes sense. Spirit, what else will pile 3's person say to pile 3? You came closer than anyone. Yeah, I almost feel like for some of you, this was a really Knight of Wands character, and I feel like you almost wanted to offer them their cup of love or vice versa, and you weren't ready for that. And like maybe y'all were really considering it for a hot sec, but it's like things got in the way, and I almost feel like they were meant to get in the way, because I feel like this is almost like the classic case of developing yourself after like a separation or a heartbreak. And it's like maybe this person wasn't even meaning to break your heart, or you weren't meaning to break this person's heart. It's just like the way the connection played out, it's like your worst fears came true, and then I feel like you realize that you're gonna be fine anyway. Like you survived. This is popping out, so I'm gonna take it. I can see us having a family. Interesting. So yeah, because I do feel like for some of you, this person is like not done with you. But you could be with this person, in a relationship with this person, which I said that already. And if you are, then that definitely means that you're learning that you can follow your passions and you can let go of that doubt. But let's see what else. Spirit, why did pile 3 meet this person? What would pile 3's person say to pile 3? I love you unconditionally. Yeah, I do feel like there was a lot left unsaid, and I feel like the feelings were left so much deeper, and I feel like you guys still check in on each other. It's like you guys try to maybe like, I feel like you both almost like flip-flop. Like you show yourself off like on social media or something, and like they look from afar and they're just like happy for you, and then it's almost like they do the same, and it's like you both are on your islands watching each other, but neither of you want to let go of those hostilities. But I also feel like you both are in this process of transforming right now, and I feel like this is all about divine timing and trusting Spirit, whether this connection is meant to come back or not. The Spirit, what else would pile 3's person say to pile 3? Okay, I will take all of those because I feel like Spirit wants me to. So we have, I knew exactly what I was doing. So if one of you cut that off, that's because they were probably being hostile and they were doubting what they were doing. I replay our conversations over and over, and we need to let each other go. And I feel like that was the conclusion that you guys came to. With on the back of the deck, we have I want you. And I don't react when people mention you. I feel like that's really funny. And I feel the need to pull these mini channel messages because I really do just feel like this is such a hot and cold energy, and which is kind of funny because we have fire and water, and it's literally like you guys could have been opposites, or like this connection just didn't seem like it would make sense, and maybe you two were very different, but there's like this intuitive knowing, and I feel like there's these feelings, like I feel like you feel this person even though you might not have even seen this person in a long time. It's like you still feel them, or you still have dreams about them. And I feel like maybe you romanticize this person and you look at this person through rose-colored glasses. But if you do, I feel like they do the same. But we also have please don't cry over me. And your light is a gift. And I feel like you both just want the best for one another. And I feel like this connection was just teaching you how, you know, things can maybe not work out. I don't know. I feel like the spirit is wanting to tell me more about what's going on, because like I feel like you might still have things to learn from this person. I don't know, like I'm getting a lot of mixed messages here, and so it's going to be really important. I'm sorry if this is a little confusing, but it's going to be really important to listen to your gut and your intuition about your situation and this person, because I definitely feel like there's just a lot of insane energy here. Like, man, I feel like there's just so much left unsaid, and it's like neither of you really showed the depths of how you were feeling to each other. And I feel like you guys have no idea where the other person is on the same page, but I feel like you both are in this mode. I think about you every day. Yeah, I feel like you both are like so stuck on each other, and that it like freaks you guys out. And even if this has been a long time coming, and like here's the thing, like you don't have to let this person in or anything. We also have I don't know who I am anymore. Let's see what else we have. We have you've been so kind to me. And on the back of the deck, can we start over? And I will always love you underneath, and you're too good for me. Like, I really do. I feel like that's why I've been so up in the air about this, is because I almost feel like the reason why you met this person, it's like spirit doesn't fully want to let you know, because I think that there's still things that you're going to find out about this connection. I feel like there's things that you are still going to learn from this person. I'm like really curious about this, so I'm actually yeah, I'm gonna grab my little angel cards really quickly and just see what. And I just found this channeled message on the ground. My heart skips a beat when I see you. And I really do. Like, I feel like this is all about, like, there's a lot of, like, sexual tension here. There's a lot of passion. Like, I feel like you both made each other really nervous. And, like, you didn't want to, like, I don't know. I feel like you both had a lot of fears. And I just want to see what advice spirit is going to give you guys. Because I feel like this reading might not be super helpful. It might be affirming, but I also feel like it might be confusing, because this is about what this person has taught you, and I feel like they've taught you a lot, but spirit's wanting me to focus on the connection more so than the energies. So chemistry, there's a strong magnetic attraction here. Spirit, what else do you want pile 3 to know about this connection? What else do you want pile 3 to know about this connection? We have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. I almost see that as like the Knight of Cups. And children, your love life is being affected by children. So I almost feel like maybe the childish opinions of others prevented that. But I feel like even with this like honeymoon and romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring. And honeymoon, enjoy the holiday, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And we have calling in your soulmate directly underneath that. So I almost feel like for some of you, it's like you are at a distance, but you know that there's something more here. And it's like, I feel like you both were maybe too childish. Like you both were knights at the time, and you needed to grow up a little bit. And it's also like you were listening to the opinions of people who were objectively children and hadn't experienced a love connection like this. And I also just cut the deck at a random spot, and we had expressed your love. So, and with the Knight of Cups here, I feel like a lot of you are kind of hoping, like it's hard to move forward with confidence, because I feel like you're focused, like you're curious about this person. I don't know, because I feel like you guys are at a distance, because there's nothing here that says anything about communication. Like, we literally have feelings and passions. So there's going to be different energies for all of you. But I know this reading is super long already, so I'm gonna go ahead and do your charms and try not to confuse you anymore. So Spirit, what else? What does pile 3 need to know about this connection? Because I feel like at this point, this is less about what it's teaching you. What does pile 3 need to know about this connection? Okay. So we do have the energy, we have the pink energy here, which pink to me also makes me think of rose quartz, and it makes me think of unconditional love, which we did have that I love you unconditionally. We also have the shell, which makes me think of the high priestess. We have the little fish scale charm, which makes me think of Pisces energy, and we have the little Cancer charm here, which is the little crab. And I was kind of grouping all of these together because I feel like it was a reiteration of the water signs, because we have more Pisces energy here and more Cancer's energy, imaginative. I feel like you guys like still romanticize this connection and imagine like coming back to each other still, and I feel like that's why it's been so heavy and intense. But it's like you guys both had your guard up, like your little pinchers out, like you were ready to snap if somebody was gonna get too close. It's like nobody can get my heart, that precious pearl. We also have the cat, which also can represent, you know, people that are very independent but also intuitive. And I feel like you guys almost like wanted to prove yourselves to each other, and it's almost like you still do. Like even if you don't talk, it's like you might flex a little bit on social media in hopes this person will see. We also have the broken record, so possibly something that somebody said, either something you said to them or they said to you, like they focus on and think about all the time. I also feel like there could be a lot of craziness in one or both of your lives, like, and with this not my circus, not my monkeys, I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, it's almost like your person, you or your person had too much going on at the time that they met you in order to truly go after this connection. And I feel like the advice from their friends just kind of confirmed those feelings. But we have the teardrop here, and I feel like there's been a lot of tears shed over this connection, and I almost feel like that's been the case on both ends. And I feel like Spirit's saying, like, you're allowed to be sad over it, but also don't stay in that energy. With it upside down, I feel like Spirit's really asking you to not cry over this. And we did have that please don't cry over me. And with the to the moon and back, like I feel like just the depths of emotion here is insane. And with that shell here, like you guys with all this water energy, I feel like you're very emotionally in tune. And I feel like there's definitely a psychic connection here, 5D connection. You guys probably visit one another in your dreams. But it's almost like you guys are removed. And it's like you're facing your own problems right now. You're dealing with your own circus. We also have the little penny with the year 2015 or 2019. I almost can't see that. I think it's 2015. And yeah, this little copper penny, which 2015 would reduce to 8. So Leo could be significant. The month of August could be significant because, like I said, we do have a lot of fire and water. We also have a little bit of Aquarius energy, friendly. Yeah, like I feel like you guys kept things friendly. Like, and if you guys saw each other, you would be friendly. But there's like this intense, like, it's like you guys are friends on the surface and you act cool and like yeah, you guys might be into each other, but then it's like deep down there's like this deep feeling here. And yeah, this reading took quite a turn. I was honestly not expecting something like this to pop out in a reading today, but nonetheless, it's interesting, and I definitely will be curious to hear if it resonates. We also have smile. It's the same in all languages, and I feel like that's a further confirmation that Spirit is really just asking you to be happy and try not to focus on this connection too much. Just focus on your own happiness, and like if this is meant to come back, it will. Yeah, I feel like this, like you both are just like, oh, I still, like, I'm in love with you, or like I still love you, like, and if not, I just feel like they just love everything about you. They love who you are. They love, yeah, there's a lot of love here. Even if you guys never said I love you, I feel like there's more love here. Okay, I'm seeing the word Tuesday, but also Tuesday makes me think of the planet Mars and Aries energy. So a Tuesday could be significant here. And we also have match. Yeah, I feel like you both see each other as a good match. I feel like you both hold a flame to each other, and there's a lot of passion here. And I love it because it's like even the charms are showing the fire and the water here. There's like so much fire and so much water. Let's look at some other letters and numbers. I'm quite curious. So, Spirit, what can you tell Pile 3 about this connection? Okay, yeah, we got a lot more in here. All right, so we have a lot of numbers, but we have K, we have D, wait, where's the D? D, K, I can't turn that D the right way. Dog. If this person had a dog, they might have like loved how you interacted with their dogs, or like, I don't know, maybe they miss your dogs or you miss their dogs or something. So dogs could be significant here. We have that K, we have a Z, we have an M or a W, however you would like to see that, but I think it is meant to be an M. Yeah, did I say G? Yeah, we have G. So we have 6s and 9s. We have a 6 and a 9. There's an O here. I'm also seeing the word good, like you're too good for me, or this is too good to be true. I almost feel like this person maybe thought, like, I don't know, like 666 or 999, which I don't think of 666 as a double number. Like, kind of funny story, but I feel like when I was in like 2nd grade, we were learning about 3-digit numbers, and we all had to come up with our own 3-digit number, and my favorite number was 6 at the time, and so I made my number 666. And like one of my friends was like, Madison, what's wrong with you? Like, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is just my favorite number. And she's like, that's the devil's number. And I was like, oh, like, I didn't know that. And I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. I like the number 6. Also, Zoom, like, maybe you could talk to this person on Zoom or something, like FaceTime. I don't know. The number 8, again, so more Leo energy. So we have 6 6s, actually, so that's not the devil's number anymore. So I don't even want to hear it. We have another 2. We have an 8, and we have a 5. Okay, so I'll hold these up, and if you want to pause that, you can. But now I am going to pull your songs. So, Spirit, what songs have a message for pile 2? Okay, you guys got 3. So we have Party in My Head by September. We have Blackout by Breathe Carolina. And we have Thumbs by Sabrina Carpenter. But I feel like I want to pull one more for you, so I'm gonna pull one more for you. Yeah, don't tell piles 1 and 2 that you guys got 4. Oh yeah, we have Brutal Love by Green Day. Yeah, I feel like this song will really, I feel like this one will hit hard. Okay, but finally, okay. If you've stuck with me through this whole reading, oh my goodness, I didn't know this one was here. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. And now look what we have. We have Check Yes, Juliet by We the Kings. Oh my gosh, okay. There could be interesting developments within this connection soon. I feel like Spirit's wanting you to focus on that more. You guys got a lot of songs too, so I'd be quite interested to know what the tea is on this, but if you stuck through with me for this whole reading, good job. Proud of you. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this reading, definitely leave me a like and subscribe so I can keep posting more readings like this. Definitely leave me a comment and let me know how it resonates, because I'm very curious to know what's going on here, because I feel like the reading shifted vastly from the original question. And you know, sometimes spirit has things to say and they're like, I don't care like what you wanted to say, we're going to talk about what I want to say. But yeah, if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, maybe we can dig into this a little more, go ahead and head over to my website, asotarot.co, because my bookings are open. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards and charms. I really appreciate it. I'm wishing you guys the best moving forward. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching, and hopefully you'll be back to see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 4. If you guys chose the Ethereal Visions Tarot and the little green with yellow accent butterfly, then this is your reading, and this is why you have met your person. So I do want to specify by saying that your person can be basically whoever you're thinking of. Sometimes though, you'll get a message about someone else when you're thinking of someone else, so be open to that, because that's usually when spirit is like telling you a message that's more important. The readings have kind of been all over the place today, and they've been quite long, so I'm a little nervous because I don't typically do 4 piles, and so when spirit tells me to do 4 piles, I'm like, oh man, what's going on with pile 4? There's clearly something that's a pile 4 situation. So if this one doesn't resonate, don't be too stressed about it. There's 3 other piles, and it honestly kind of feels like they all are very specific situations. Spirit's kind of wilding today, if I'm going to be honest, and just letting the messages go as it wants to deliver them. But we are doing charms today, we're doing channel messages, we're doing tarot oracle, and then by popular request, my big old bag of songs is here to stay, and I will be pulling you guys songs at the end of the reading. There's a lot of interesting things in here, so I am quite interested to see what comes out. But yeah, okay, let's just get into it. So spirit, why did pile 4's person meet pile 4? I think this is going to be the longest reading I've ever done. Okay, we have the King of Cups again. Wow, okay. Why did pile 4's person... I think we've had the King of Cups in pile 3, pile 4, and pile 1, and it's like they've all had different messages. Well, I guess I can't say for pile 4. I guess we'll see. Spirit, why did pile 4's person meet pile 4? Okay, we have the 6 of Swords. Why did pile 4's person meet pile 4? We have the 4 of Pentacles. Why did pile 4's person... Wait, all right, why did pile 4 meet their person? Why did pile 4 meet their person? I'm like, I hope I wasn't asking the wrong... Spirit's telling me what I need. I need to just... Okay, we have the 3 of Swords in reverse, and on the back of the deck we have the High Priestess. 420 blaze it, am I right? No, I'm not promoting that. Unless you want to and you're doing it in a healthy way. Okay, so we already have your oracles. So we have the 6th house of routine, and your back of the deck energy was Sagittarius, I see. We also have the Angel of Strength and walking away in reverse as the back of the deck energy for that. We also have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And on the back of the deck, we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. We also have a new start is coming, new moon, and on the back of the deck we have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. And we also have pillar of light, your vibration is rising, you are the oracle, coming out underneath the high priestess. And the back of the deck energy was warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? And what I think is so interesting too, look at how similar this angel of strength and this warrior woman is. Wow. Okay. So this is actually pretty straightforward. And I kind of love it. Because this is all about trusting yourself, knowing when a situation isn't meant for you, and not letting it hold you back. For some of you, you could have been in a connection that was very heartbreaking to deal with. There could have been betrayal, or it could have been incredibly difficult to walk away from this situation. I'm getting like really interesting vibes here. So why did you meet this person? I feel like this person has or had a way of connecting with you that isn't very typical. And I feel like they had a lot of feelings for you, but they weren't the type of person to typically talk about them. I feel like you met this person to gain a lot of emotional maturity. And with the 6th house of routine, it's kind of interesting to be juxtaposed with Sagittarius, because like Sagittarius is just about the opposite of a routine. I feel like you've learned discipline from this connection. I feel like you've learned a lot of necessary lessons from this connection. And I feel like you're learning that you can you don't have to focus on one idea or one I'm sorry, I'm getting like so much right now. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you have grown a lot from this connection. I feel like this connection really tested you in a lot of ways. And have you answered your deepest calling in Pillar of Light and High Priestess? I really feel like this connection helped you become a lot more in tune with your inner truth. I feel like maybe you were staying I feel like this is someone that you were with for possibly a very long time. Like you avoided walking away from this situation for a long time. It's like you were holding on to this connection for dear life. It almost seems like. But I think the truth of the matter is that I feel like things in this connection just got really boring and like really routine. I feel like you weren't feeling inspired. I feel like you were feeling bored. And it's not like this person was doing anything wrong. It's not like this person was trying to hurt you or anything. It's just that you weren't feeling it anymore. And I feel like this connection, like, even though there were deep emotions here, I feel like you were torn for a while, like whether you, like should I stay or should I go? And I feel like you were seeing yourself in different areas. And I feel like for the first time you were seeing yourself. I feel like for a long time you prioritized the connection over your own feelings. And I feel like you stayed in this connection maybe longer than one typically would, because I am getting like fixed energy, especially with that angel of strength, like Leo energy, like a lot of loyalty. I feel like you're a very loyal person. But what are all the fixed energies? Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. I feel like this connection taught you to see for yourself and like look at your life as your life and not our life. I feel like you were with this person either for a long time, or it could have been toxic. It could have just been like a typical connection with typical tiffs, typical disagreements. But I feel like it's like the feelings were still, it's not even like the feelings that were still there. It's like towards the end of this connection, it's like, I feel like your heart was being called to other places, and you did still have feelings for this person. And I feel like they did for you too. I feel like they were holding on to this connection more than you were. And I feel like you knew that you would probably break their heart if you let go of them. But, or vice versa. Or this person broke up with you and you were clinging on to this connection for dear life. But the semantics of that don't really matter. But what does matter is, I feel like you moved forward without this person, without knowing what was to come. Like you were doubting yourself, like, oh, am I making the right decision? Like I'm really afraid, I'm not sure. But I feel like you knew that you had learned all you needed from this connection. And you knew, like, you saw brighter futures for yourself. It's like you literally saw this new start. I love how similar a new start is coming in this Sagittarius I see. I almost feel like this was a relationship that started when you were young, like maybe even high school or college, and like happened until like your mid-20s or something, like something specific, like during a really big time of change and transformation for you. And I feel like your idea of who you were was changing. I feel like your ideas of what you wanted was changing. And I feel like, honestly, you wanted the room and the freedom to explore life without this person. And I feel like Spirit's saying that's okay. It's almost like, I feel like you were like, I hope I really don't regret this decision. But I also do feel like you guys were holding each other back in a way. Like this relationship had become too routine and stuck in cycles. And it's possible that maybe there were things that happened in the past, like, especially this was a really long connection, that were like heartbreaks that neither of you never really got over. And it's like you put them past one another for the sake of the connection, but it wasn't really the same after that. And it kind of felt like you were clinging to a memory of what once was. And it took you a lot to be honest with yourself and be like, I really don't think this is what's for me anymore. And with health, I feel like it could have been holding you back physically. Like maybe you and your person got too stuck in routines and it affected your physical health, and then it affected your mental health. But I also just feel like there was a lack of growth here. And it's like, while I feel like there was genuine feelings and genuine love here, it's almost like you met this person in order to be able to truly see yourself and be able to be honest with yourself and have the strength to leave something when you feel like it's no longer serving you, or intuitively you know it's time to release it. Sometimes we learn all we need from someone. And I feel like you guys maybe too, there was almost like an emotional distance that was created. And it's like, I feel like partially it was because communication was really withheld. And I feel like you guys worried about communicating with each other, because it was like, as soon as you guys did, it's like you guys would bring up past wounds and dig into each other even more. And I feel like you guys finally just realized, like, I feel like you considered walking away so many times, but you didn't. You stayed because you're like, no, I want to be loyal to this person. I love this person. Like, especially with the Taurus, like, there's a lot of stubborn energy here and like refusal to let go. And I feel like that was from both sides. And I feel like both of you knew. Both of you knew that the connection needed to end. It needed to be severed. So that you both could have a new start. Because I feel like there were wounds here that maybe you guys got past, but you guys still held on to it, whether you wanted to admit it or not. And I feel like if you were honest with yourself, like you, and maybe you felt like you couldn't trust this person after, maybe you guys had trust issues after that. And I feel like there could have been actions, honestly, on both sides. I feel like it's both sides. Like, you both did things that you weren't proud of, but I feel like this connection was really long and really drawn out. And I feel like there was codependency here. I feel like there was attachment here. And I feel like this connection was meant to happen so that you could learn that you have the strength to move forward, that you can look at yourself honestly, look at a connection honestly, and see what's not meant for you. And I feel like you guys made the right decision, because with prosperity lies ahead on the back of the deck, it's like you could finally get to work on focusing on you. And with warrior woman, you don't have to be a woman to for this to resonate, but like, I feel like letting go of this connection raised your vibrations, because you are no longer stuck in maybe toxic habits that you both were guilty of in this connection. I feel like it's a connection that had, like, you guys had been together for just so long, or even if it wasn't a super long time, long enough for all of this to transpire. And it's like, I feel like intuitively you knew this wasn't you anymore. And what's so interesting is, like, it's like this warrior woman rising up to this like pillar of light, and directly beneath that is the high priestess. And I feel like you were honest with yourself. Like, your gut feelings became so strong. It's like you had a calling elsewhere, and it was time for you to go. It was time for you to have a new start so that you could experience this prosperity. I feel like this connection was really just weighing you down. And I feel like you both lost yourselves in it. And it's kind of like you were just running through the motions of a relationship, but you weren't really in it because it was making you happy anymore. And you weren't really in it because you felt motivated to be in it. It was like the familiarity and the attachment felt comfortable. It's possible as well you could have been living with this person, or breaking the connection apart could have been very difficult, and maybe you didn't want to go through that emotional stress. But I feel like you realized at one point, at some point, that this situation wasn't good for your health or your mental health, and you found the strength to move forward. And so I feel like Spirit did that, because sometimes, I've said this in past videos, but people are meant to be here for a season rather than a reason. And I feel like this person was here for a reason, but I feel like that season ended. And it's like you guys learned everything that you needed to from each other. And I feel like you made the really tough decision to walk away, because I feel like you knew this person wasn't going to. Or you were like, well, if I don't think they will, and I don't know how long I'll be stuck in this. It's like, I'm honestly really thinking with the 2 and the 7 reducing to a 9, I honestly feel 9 of Swords energy from this, or 9 of Wands, like just being worn out and done. But with that 5, it's like that desire for change, and it's like I need something different. This just isn't working. And so I feel like this makes me think of the Ace of Swords, and I feel like you had clarity. You received inner clarity from your own intuition, because the universe was guiding you. This connection was meant to help you learn how not to get lost in connections. And I feel like Spirit's asking you, because maybe you haven't dated anyone since then, and Spirit's telling you, don't close your heart forever. Like, just because there were really not fun things that happened here that doesn't mean that don't close yourself off to new opportunities. I feel like you were meant to attract higher vibrational people into your life, and maybe you did after this connection ended, which you might want to check with one of the piles. Maybe if you felt drawn to another one, that could be talking about that person. But I really do feel like you needed to let yourself free. It's like you were holding on to something that wasn't satisfying you and that wasn't helping. And I feel like you just intuitively knew that you needed to move forward, and you needed to move forward on your own, to follow your own prosperity and your own path. And Spirit's saying that don't regret this decision. You made the right decision. And the most emotionally mature thing you can do is walk away from something when you know it's not serving you, or you know that you can't love that person the way you would want to be loved anymore. And knowing that you're not fully in it, removing yourself from the situation is better than sticking through something just because it's familiar or just because it's safe. Like, a relationship is supposed to be two people who are whole on their own. And I feel like you met this person when you guys were too young to even know what individual wholeness was like. And I feel like you guys changed a lot throughout this relationship. And I feel like you're very different people than you were when you first got together. And it's possible that if you still like stay in contact with this person, or if you're still in this connection, I mean, this might be your sign if you've been thinking about moving forward, that it's okay to, and that there is a new start if you choose to, and that you will heal. But I just feel like now, like, if you met that person, like, you guys are just two different people than you were when you guys started dating or got together. And I feel like it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not really anybody's fault. Maybe you both did things that hurt each other. I feel like it was a lot of like culminating events over time, and like small things that ended up being a lot bigger. And maybe you guys weren't entirely truthful with each other, and maybe there were some lies here, some secrets here. And I feel like you fought for this connection for a long time with that angel of strength. I feel like you're trying to be strong here and fight for this, because I feel like you really cared about this person and about this connection. But I think your soul was telling you, hey, it's time to move on. We've learned all we can, and it's time for us to move forward so that somebody else can love this person the way that they deserve, and that you can have a fresh start and you can follow your calling and your path. Because, you know, like, I'm almost thinking of like Leonard Skinner, like Freebird, like you were meant to spread your wings and fly for a new start. But I feel like Spirit's asking you not to be afraid of romantic connections in the future, because not all connections end up like this over time. One, it's helpful to take accountability for your actions and be responsible for yourself. But there are plenty of people, I mean, my parents have been married for almost 30 years, and they got together when they were in their late teens, early 20s. So, you know, people, I feel like if it's the right person, it's the right person. And what my mom likes to say is that if it's right, it won't be difficult. And I know that's not going to resonate with a lot of you, because a lot of you are in very difficult journeys with separations, and they have been hard. But I don't think it necessarily has to be easy to be right. I think there just has to be enough motivation towards the other person to want to make things right and to make things easy. And so it's like, even if things are difficult, it's like, how can we make things easier for each other? And at the end of the day, it should be two whole people, and which a lot of times that's why these things are difficult, and why people go through separations is because people aren't whole. And I feel like the reason why you walked away was because you sensed that you weren't embodying wholeness. You weren't embodying your deepest callings. You were being held back. It's like you kind of lost sight of yourself, and you were like, I need to break out of this and define who I am. And I feel like there's an appreciation for what it was and where you guys were, but at some point it's time to let go. And what I was saying earlier before I got stuck on that tangent, because I knew saying the easy thing y'all might disagree, because everybody's relationship is different. You know, that's just my parents' personal experience. But I think that, you know, a relationship should always be two people who are whole and secure in themselves, you know, not needing another person to make them whole. Staying in each other's lives because you both bring each other more happiness than you would if you both work together, if that makes sense. And that's how you should treat other connections, like friendships. Why would you stay in a friendship if somebody was telling you things that you weren't, if somebody was bringing you down, or being toxic, or talking down to you, or not believing in you and your abilities? Like, why would you stay in that? You should only want people in your life who want to support you and you the same. Like, there should be equal give and take, and there should be equal effort and equal acknowledgement of, we want to be in each other's lives, we want to create a life together, or we want to improve each other's lives, and we want to be supportive of one another. I definitely feel like there's just a lot of I feel like sometimes we get attached to the idea of a person rather than the truth or reality of the situation. And sometimes it's healthier to let go than to stay gripping to it. Like, I feel like with that Four of Pentacles, it's almost like an iron grip. And I feel like it took you a while to be honest with yourself, but I feel like you're very grateful that you did. But if you are still in this situation, I feel like it is time to be honest with yourself so that you can move forward and follow your path. Like, it's time to follow your gut and not what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks. And I said this in an earlier pile, but history is not an excuse to stay in a connection. Truthfully, like, just because you had something very beautiful, like, you have to look at it for the reality of what it is and not what it was. You can try to get what was there once back, but if you feel like that's not attainable, if you feel like you can't get there and that's not quite possible, or that it'll never be the same, listen to your gut. Like, is it worth holding on to? Your happiness matters, and like I've reiterated so many times in this reading already, happiness is the sign that you are on the right path, which I say it on this channel a lot, but I reiterated that this because it was in another pile. This is my favorite oracle card in existence, minus the fact that it has dolphins on it, because I think sharks are cooler, but that's my own bias, and I'll let go of that. This happiness, this is what you should be shooting for. I feel like people are like, how will I know I'm on the right path? Well, are you happy? No. Well, then you're not on the right path, bro. Time to take a detour. Like, happiness is awareness that you're on the right path, and your path, everybody's path is different, and everybody's happiness is different, and we're not, and we never have things truly perfect, but even just finding the happiness in any situation you're in is better than nothing. And we could go down a tangent of how that's different in terms of like stuff with depression and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go into all of that. But if you are unhappy, there's nothing wrong with seeking help to find that happiness, and there is nothing wrong with going to counseling or seeking medication to help those issues. Mental health issues are very real, and they're a very legitimate problem, and sometimes it's not as simple. It's not a quick fix of just being happy. But okay, done now. I feel like, God, this is probably the longest reading I've ever done in my entire life. Okay. We're going to look at what your person would say to you if they could be completely honest. So what would pile 4's person say to pile 4 if they could be completely truthful about their situation? What would they say to pile 4? What would they say to pile 4? I left you before you could leave me. So yeah, so maybe for some of you, this person left first. Or I bury myself in work to forget you. And maybe you're not fully over this person, especially if this was a connection that lasted for a really long time, because it takes a second to not feel attached to that familiarity. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it love or a feeling of familiarity that you're focused on? And we also have, I'm starting to understand our connection. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you right now after being like, oh, okay, I get this now. Let's see, what else? Spirit, what would pile 4th person say to pile 4? Okay, I feel like I'm going to take them. I'm going to take all of them. Why not? This is already the longest fucking reading I've ever done, and I've said that for like 20 times. I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize me. My life is not as together as it seems. It was my fault, but I blamed you. Yeah, like maybe this person didn't want to work on things. I feel like you both maybe placed blame on each other and not on yourselves, and then maybe you placed blame on yourselves later. I wish I could share my good news with you. So I feel like there's still respect here. Like there's mutual, like, yeah, we went through a lot together and we did have a lot of love for one another. On the back of the deck, we have, I want to be more than friends, but you and I were too young underneath. So it's like, yeah, maybe this person wishes they could have a second chance, but, and underneath that we have, I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. And so, yeah, I'm actually going to take those two because I feel like those are significant to this. But yeah, we'll look at my channel messages now because I do feel like, because I don't feel like, if anything, that you both could have done things that were wrong. You could have done things that were toxic or malicious or spiteful. But it's almost like you guys, the love overpowered that. And it's like you tried to move forward because I feel like the original intensity of this connection overpowered a lot. And I feel like you overall really cared about this person. It's like I've spent so much of my life with this person. It's really weird to think about them not being there. And so I feel like there will be like love, like in the sense of I will always love what we had. Like we learned a lot together, we grew together. That, you know, this is about why you met this person. And I feel like you met this person in order to learn that sometimes it's better to walk away when something isn't serving you rather than to hold on to it with an iron grip and hope it gets better. Especially like when it's in the 6th house energy of routine and you're supposed to be in your Sagittarian energy. That's Sagittarius and routine are like not two buddies that would get along. Complications scare me. I wish I could love you the way you deserve. And here's the thing too, this could be flip-flopped. Maybe your person was the one to walk away. And maybe this was really hard for you and maybe you didn't understand it. And I feel like your person was led to doing that because of all the reasons I've just stated. So don't be afraid. Like if the energies are flip-flop, that's fine. I've hidden how deep my feelings really are with that King of Cups. And I've never felt a love so pure, deep, and true. So yeah, I feel like you guys were like each other's first love maybe, or first really significant love. And I think that's why letting go of this connection was really scary. And maybe you guys still pop into each other's lives every now and then. I could almost see even like hooking up or something, but like I don't know. This is quite interesting. This is definitely one of those like, it's very complicated energies. And yeah, all of you will know what's best for your situation. I think about you every day. Wow, that came out in the last pile too. Let's see, the last pile and this pile are very different. I just want to have fun with you again. And I'm moving on. And yeah, I feel like you both are on that same page. Like maybe it would be helpful if you guys could be friendly with each other. Like if you run in similar circles, it's like you guys did share something really beautiful. And that's why it was so hard to let go of it. And the depth of feeling is still there. I feel like you think about the past and you're like, those were really intense feelings. And you know, maybe this person said things like, I don't, like, if you were the one to walk away, like, I don't care about you, like, whatever. I don't know, there's just a lot of interesting energy here. I definitely feel like the channel messages could be flip-flopped a little bit, but on the back of the deck we have, I stalk your social media. So I feel like you guys still keep up with each other in some capacity or another, whatever it may be. But I feel like for a lot of you, this person has kind of not been in your life for a while. It's like this person watches from afar, and like, I feel like you both watch each other from afar and wish each other the best, because it's like you guys did share something really beautiful and there was something really special here, but it's just like you guys kind of knew like it was time to just part ways. And I feel like you both learned a lot of spiritual lessons together. I feel like you upgraded together. But sometimes relationships just run their course, and sometimes rejection is actually just divine protection, and Spirit is saving you for somebody else. Like, you know, sometimes we think something is the end of the world until we have the frame of reference to realize that there's something better out there. And I feel like whoever left intuitively knew that this situation wasn't serving either of you, and that intuitively there was more out there. And I feel like this person wasn't going to heal. Like, you guys weren't going to fully heal if you stayed in this connection with the way that it was, because I do feel like there were things on both sides that weren't right, and it caused a lot of hardships. So Spirit, why did pile 4 meet their person? Okay. Okay, so we have a W or an N, however you want to see that. And we have X. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, this is an X. So we have the number 2 here, which definitely makes me think of the High Priestess once again. I'm also thinking of like the 2 of Pentacles. We also have the French horn, which makes me think of Judgment, even though it's not a French horn in the Judgment card. But I feel like you had a lot of realizations. First of all, for some of you watching this, you could be having these realizations currently as you're watching this reading. So that's a Spirit acknowledging that you're listening to your intuition and your intuition is correct. But for others, I feel like when you made the decision to walk away, or when the other person walked away, they didn't know that it was going to be the right thing for both of you. But I feel like now they have acknowledgement that they made the right decision. There's a lot with music here as well. So, you know, maybe this person sends you messages in music. You could be a muse to this person, or vice versa. Like, maybe your connection, like, they get inspired by it a lot, or inspired not to make the same mistakes. But I also, when I think of the harp, like, oh my gosh, which is kind of funny too, because now I'm thinking about, like, maybe you guys like harped on each other, like nagged each other, and you both are trying to maybe not do that in your future connections. But I also feel like your angels were guiding you. Like I feel like this was just one of those connections where you were meant to learn a lot and learn more about yourself and overcome obstacles, and also be brave enough to address the elephant in the room and communicate that stuff and not hide that stuff. I feel like you guys might have, I don't know, I feel like there was a lot of wisdom to gain. And with that W, I'm also thinking wisdom. Like, you guys gained a lot of wisdom from this connection. Also, the Pacific Northwest could be significant. With PW, I'm thinking of like PNW. Let's see what else. We also have the little tea cup. So this person, like, you might still get updates about this person. Like, you might still hear tea about them, or vice versa. And then it's almost like, it's either like, oh, like, good, or it could be a mix of both. It's like, oh, good for them. That's awesome. I'm happy that they're doing great. Or like, wow, like, that's what they're getting into. Like, man, maybe I'm glad that I did this. I feel like it's going to resonate for all of you differently. And I'm getting an interesting interpretation for this charm. I think of it as like tying up loose ends, and like maybe there are some loose ends that still need to tie up, so maybe you have some conversations to have with this person. But I also feel like this is all about being present, and this is what Spirit wants you to focus on, because I'm thinking about the bows of a present. I feel like there's a gift coming soon, or a blessing of some kind, and Spirit really just wants you to stay present right now. To not be too focused about the past and what happened in the past of this person, because I really do feel like for most of you, and with that P, I see present as well, like a welcome present or something, or welcome to the present. I almost just feel like for a lot of you, looking back at this, I feel like almost makes it just harder to move forward, but you can't change what's already happened. But we have also letter 0, so 20, which is kind of interesting, because I was talking about, you know, being in your 20s when this like ends, because I feel like for a lot of you it has ended, and I feel like for a lot of you it ended in the past. But I mean, you can grow apart from someone at 17. Like, you don't have to be a specific age, and I feel like there's just an acknowledgement that oh, and number 20 is the Judgment card, which I also connected to Judgment. There's a lot of clarity here after this connection ended, and we have Aries energy here and courageous. So I feel like whoever made the first move towards walking away was doing something very courageous, because I feel like they weren't sure if they were going to regret it or not. But with that Capricorn energy, what does that say, ambitious? Yeah, it's like they knew that their ambitions were more important, and it's like it was time for them to move forward. And with Smile, it's the same in all languages. Spirit's asking you to be happy with your decision, and choose that decision with conviction. But I feel like you realize that you can be happy without a person. You don't need a person to be happy, and sometimes you can be happier away from a situation. And we also have the Owl, and I feel like the Owl just means, I feel like you gained a lot of wisdom from this connection. You learned a lot about yourself, and I feel like you're able to look at the bigger picture now of this whole situation, now that you're kind of more removed from it. So we have X and U, so the last name Zhu could be significant. Let's see, what else do we have? Another P, so we have 2 P's. I'm hearing the name Pippa. Also hearing the word pact. And P-A-X, Pax, like Paxton or something. Oh, we have another letter too, and K. So, I'm also hearing whack and pack. What's that song? Knick knack paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This little man came rolling home. Okay, let's get a couple more letters. I'm almost through. Okay, so Spirit. What is pile 4? I need to see. Okay, yeah. I think that's enough. I think that'll do it. Okay, so we have 2 A's now as well. So we have 2 A's, we have a weird deformed 5, and we have another 5. It's like you both knew it was time to change. We also have a P. I'm hearing Pabst Blue Ribbon. Like the beer, but that's 3 P's, so that's kind of interesting. Mr. Pibb, kind of thinking of that. We also have the number 4, and yeah, I feel like you guys look back and reflect on this situation a lot, but it's almost like every time you look back and reflect, you know you did the right thing. So I'll zoom in on these, and if you want to look at them more, you can pause the video. But now we're gonna finally do your songs. Oh, and we have the number 8 as well. Sorry. So Spirit, what songs are relevant to pile 4? So we have we have Bitch by Megan Thee Stallion. I love this song. And I feel like this makes sense a lot, because like in the song, like the lyrics are like, I'd rather be a bitch, because that's what you're gonna call me when I'm tripping anyway. And it's almost like, yeah, like I feel like you guys like predicted arguments with the other person. And we also have Birthday by Katy Perry. I kind of want to get you like 1 or 2 more. I'll just, yeah. Okay, so I guess that guy wanted to pop out. Let's see what else is here. So we have Don't Call Me Up by Mabel. This song is a banger. We also have I Adore You by Grimes. As you guys can tell, I have a very eclectic music mix. And we also have Enchanted by Taylor Swift. So yeah, I feel like like things like changed a lot. Like I feel like these 2 songs maybe kind of represent where you guys were originally, and maybe Birthday too. And like Mabel and Megan Thee Stallion are kind of like where y'all are at now. But take the songs that resonate, don't let them take from you. And I feel like you guys still do, especially like, I don't know, I love this song by Grimes. I think it's really cool. I think Grimes is honestly my favorite artist. Like I think she's so dope. And yeah, she just has a lot of really cool, like, I feel like you both still have admiration and respect for each other, as like acknowledgement that you both are each other's first loves. And I feel like there was an initial spark there. But, and you know, sometimes things just change, and things can get complicated, and some things are meant to last forever. But, you know, never say never for the future. I mean, if you're hoping for something, this is all about why you met this person. And really the reason you met this person was to be able to have the strength to be honest with yourself and walk away from something, even when maybe you don't necessarily want to leave, but you know that it's not entirely serving you. So, okay. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna sleep for 20 years after this. But thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading, and also leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonates. If you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, all of my information about that is down below. The link to my website, which is asotarot.co. All of that is down there. I really hope this resonated. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to read your cards and charms. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching, and I hope you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye.